Hello everyone and welcome to another viewer game analysis. Today we are looking at RICIO, who is a Silver 4 misfortune on the EU West server. And if you want to be featured in this series, then please leave me a comment with your server and your summoner name. And if you are a channel member, you are obviously higher up in the priority list, so feel free to leave me a comment. Alright, so we are looking at RICIO, and by the way, no webcam, because I finally moved back to Germany. I will go to the city and buy one today, but with the setup that I used 7 months ago before I went to Scotland. So yeah, obviously nice audio quality, but no webcam. So we will manage that soon. By the way, if this happens, don't contest that. You know there are 4 people. You 2v4 them? No. Never contest that. That's super dumb. Yeah, obviously you both die for that. Right, so that's the first thing to point out. If you get invaded, just let them. Unless you're grouped as 5, you need to assume they are grouped as 5, and you saw 4 of them, and you can never 2v4 that. Not level 1, not level 10, you can never 2v4. If you have numbers disadvantage, just leave. Alright, so 2 very preventable deaths. Okay, RICIO, let's first talk about your build. You go for, well, your root setup is Arcane Comet, Mana Flow Band, Gathering Storm, and Absolute Focus. Or Absolute Focus and Gathering Storm, whatever. And Cheap Shot and Ultimate Hunter. So Rune Page is fine, perfectly fine. You can play this with Brand AFK. Alright. You can play this with either attack speed, adaptive force armor, or with adaptive force armor. Both are fine. But what you really need to do, this is your Emax setup. You should max E with this. Level 1, obviously, you should have your W. That's perfect. And levels until level 9, you max your E, and then you max your Q. So it should be like W, E, E, Q, then E max, then Q max, then W max. Alright, so yeah, you need to dodge those skill shots. There's no other way. Oh well, but so be it. With the thing is, E is very mana intensive. It's 80 mana at all ranks, so it's not as bad late game, but in the lane phase, it's just a lot of mana. And with Doran's Blade, you don't really have enough for spamming it. And this is really the selling point of this entire build, that you can spam your E in lane phase. So in order to do that effectively, you do need the mana regeneration from Corrupting Potion. Some people go for Doran's Ring, but I would highly suggest that you do the Corrupting Potion build instead, because it's just way better after your first back due to the refill, and also you have your AD coming from your runes. If you buy Doran's Ring, you get AP from runes, which you do not want, because else last hitting is going to be a pain. Alright, so far so good. As long as you don't get Lux Binded, everything should be alright-ish. By the way, looking at the team comp, playing the Emax Arcane Comet build against them with Dr. Mundo and Volibear just running at you, it's very, very difficult actually. So you need to position yourself very well in order to be effective. Because if you are too aggressive, Mundo and Volibear will just eat you alive. And if you're too passive, you don't deal any damage. So it's very tough with this build to play against those. However, first of all, we need to be concerned with the lane phase. And you see right now you're out of mana. You don't have any spells at the ready. Well, you have 1 Q with 50 mana, or 1 W. But yeah, you cannot really play around your strength of harassing with E. The back is fine-ish. You lose 2 waves. No, 1 wave. Yeah, the back here would be okay, because you cannot compete with them right now. They have full resources. You have half health and 0 mana. And Tristana is still full health, full mana, and Lux is still full health. So, and you need to move away from the tower, because the Tristana bomb has an AoE effect that still hurts you. So yeah, better leave it. It's not worth it. Had you backed on the last wave, you would be there right now for the cannon wave. And now you miss the cannon and also... Oh, okay. And also they have more time to batter the turret. Yeah, double longsword. That's fine. Looks okay. Oh, they didn't push this under tower, which is a huge mistake. You still lose the cannon. But yeah. Tristana should have definitely shoved this. And Brand should leave this wave alone. Yeah, those pings are very... I feel you. It's very frustrating to see that. Oh well, back to farming, right? Not doing too well farm-wise. It's tough, because with an HP disadvantage, you cannot really walk up to them. And also, well, under tower, when you have no long swords, you cannot really last it under tower effectively. You need some extra AD to be able to get caster minions after one tower shot, for example. And you're still getting zoned by the Lux, right? But yeah, you need to abuse the fact that you can spam your E, which you cannot do without Corrupting Potion. You can do it for a little while, but you run very soon. That's a very eager control ward. I don't think you can hold this. Tristana just shoves too hard. You should move towards the lane, by the way. You need to zone them. You need to contest their last hits. As soon as Tristana tries to go for that minion, for example, you saw that. That minion, what... I don't want to rewind for that. Whenever Tristana goes for her last hit, right now you have more range than she does. She needs to hard commit like this with her jump when she wants to do something. And when she goes for a last hit, you can just walk up to her and auto her, because while she autos the minion, she cannot auto you, right? So get free damage on her. Okay, this minion's getting low. She's going... Okay, she misses it. Yeah, but right now you cannot walk up, obviously, because of after this semi all-in play, you lost too much health. You cannot risk getting Lux binded. Yeah, you should get all these under tower with your double longsword. Oh, that was a mistake. While the tower was targeting the melee minion, you could have last hit the caster minions and then the melee minion. And you would have gotten them all. There's a BF sword also, you need to be careful with that. Heal? Auto her! Okay. Heal's still on cooldown, okay. Yeah, but that was okay. That was good. You trade ADC for support, so you can farm, Tristana cannot farm. You should probably just back or go to help the Jarvan. Just be safe with it. Okay, when Jarvan disengages, yeah, there's no way. He's 2 levels behind. And don't help the Jarvan. It's no point. Wasn't paying attention to jungle levels, but yeah. When your jungler is that far behind, you cannot help him, obviously. This Volibear is super fed. And he will easily disrupt your ultis. Kind of frustrating. Yeah, nice buy. This lane would be so much easier with Corrupting Potion. I will play Corrupting Potion Misfortune tomorrow, maybe. We'll see. And so I can show you how it works. I think that's nice. After a viewer game analysis, I can play the build that I would suggest. I think that makes sense. Okay, so tomorrow on this channel, you will see me playing Corrupting Potion Emax Misfortune, so you see how it works. Yeah, you cannot stop that. Never go for that. They can ping all they want. This doesn't make sense. Volibear has the stronger smite. Because smite damage is dependent on champion level. Jarvan will not be able to compete with that. Okay. Your team wants to commit. Had you been there? This could have been a 4v3. Now it's a little bit too late, maybe. The thing is that it's two things, right? What's the correct play and what's your team doing? And most of the time it's not the same thing, especially in low elo. So it would be correct to just let them have dragon because you cannot contest it. You cannot steal it anyway. There's 0 chance you steal it, and they are stronger. But right now you could have numbers advantage. Or no, well, not numbers advantage, but 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. This is disastrous for blue team. Without you being there, there's so much damage they don't have. But luckily, this Lux is real scared. Was okay in the end. I mean, the dragon, you couldn't really steal it, and you traded 2 for 1 as far as players. But yeah, that's to be expected. Oh wait, why don't I? Okay, I forgot to toggle Fog of War properly. All right, so yeah, but you yeah, it was okay as long as you don't die for a stupid play your team makes. Everything's fine. The team was frustrated, tried to contest the dragon, and therefore they traded 2 for 1 in the enemy's favor. But that happens. But this is one of the key things. You need to be aware of numbers advantage and disadvantage, because that's the main deciding factor for any fight, any skirmish. The team with the player advantage or numbers advantage in the fight or skirmish will win most of the time. Well, or all of the time if you don't consider games in which you are like 10 kills and can 1v3 easily. Like literally 1v3. Then numbers advantage might be not the deciding factor, but being overfed. But generally speaking, in a game state like this, numbers advantage is everything. You saw this at this red buff level 1 when you tried to contest it. Just got crushed because it was 2v4. And at the dragon, it was a 3v4 in the enemy's favor, and they got the dragon obviously because it's stronger smite. And yeah, they could have probably won this fight even harder. Going for a plating here seems greedy. That's fine, probably. Yeah, 1 plating is fine, and then you could back. Okay, you stay. It's interesting, because you don't really have mana, right? You have mana for... When you're at 180, you have enough for 1 E and 1 R. I doubt this will work. And you're just giving... You're doing nothing right now, and Tristana goes back and comes back to lane for free, pretty much. So you get the Lux Flash, which is fine, don't get me wrong, but a better back timing would be way better than risking... or than wasting time in the lane. Mimicking the enemy's back timings is always a nice way to stay ahead, or to not fall behind as far. So if Tristana goes back first, you can push in the wave under tower and then go back yourself, so you both return to lane with items and full resources, and Tristana loses an additional wave under tower, so you get a small advantage there. But just staying and waiting for the Lux to make a mistake is not a... It's not a play that works 100% of the time anyway. Sometimes you get nothing out of it, and you just lose lane priority. See, right now Tristana gets a free plating, or maybe 2 free platings, because you missed your back timing there. It was very crucial you went back there, but no. Yeah, she got 2 platings. She pretty much got a kill worth of gold because of your back timing. Yeah, 2 platings, that's 320 gold she got for free. Oh well, so be it. Just something to keep in mind. Super far ahead now. Oh, poor you. We'll be fine though. We'll be fine. As long as you catch her, you can still kill her. The thing you need to keep in mind as well, Tristana has a jump, so she doesn't care about your E slow as much. But you pretty much just need to wait until she overcommits, until she uses her jump. And if she's in E range, then you can ER her without her jump. Top lane is looking concerning though. Nice. Just auto the Tristana. Auto her. And now it's too late. As soon as the brand dies, you cannot outduel her, obviously. So let's go over this fight again. What happens? Brand full combos the Lux, and meanwhile Tristana autos the brand, and you do nothing pretty much. Yeah, you were a little bit out of position. be fair. This is also a thing. In lane, you always want to be parallel to your lane partner, so you can apply pressure at the same time if necessary. You're behind the brand right now, which is a huge mistake. And now you walk back even farther without any incentive to do so. So what's happening here is you create a situation in which the brand can be attacked by two opponents while you can attack nothing. So would you be parallel to the brand, Tristana couldn't walk up like this for free because both you and the brand could be targeting her. And the brand reads for the brand cannot retreat, right? So he thinks, hey, might as well all in. Goes on the Lux, and you're still so far back that you cannot react to anything that's happening. And there are not even minions right now to be farming here. Yeah, so by the time you reach catch up to the brand, he's already half dead. And you hard lose this fight for that reason. So this is also one of the principles you need to keep in mind when playing ADC or support. It's always optimal. It's obviously not always possible, but it's always optimal to stay parallel to your lane partner. And while doing that, be careful that you're not standing too close together, because then you could body block each other and force each other to run through skill shots, which is very bad, obviously. So keep distance between you two and stay parallel to each other. So, oh well, you saw what happened because of that. You didn't do it, and Brand died for that. He probably still would have died, but at least you could have traded 1 for 1 or even 1 for 2. I'm not a fan of this ult. You should have waited. This was actually a nice, quite a nice setup for the Jarvan, so they could have tried to dive you, and the Jarvan being there, he could have completely wiped them. Not a fan of this ult. Back timing is fine. You get Ghostblade and another longsword. So, so I personally would get boots after my first item latest. Wear longsword instead. It's probably fine-ish. I just would not advise it. I think boots are too important, but Misfortune, due to her passive and due to Ghostblade, you can definitely get away with it a little bit longer to not buy boots. MDeal, for example, doesn't buy boots at all, but the thing is he has a duo queue partner most of the time who can peel for him. And Misfortune cannot peel for herself, she only really has a movement speed. And so as soon as you get caught out, you just die if you don't have boots. And by caught out, I mean get hit once by a champion. Anything. No, you cannot hold this, it's impossible. The brand gets away there, or it doesn't. There's no way you can hold this tower. Watch the numbers advantage. Okay, Volibear retreats, then you can hold it. Had Volibear stayed? Okay, you don't have ulti. You probably shouldn't. Yeah. So the way you could have played this is, without ulti, it's actually quite hard to hold this, even against those two, because numbers disadvantage, right? The tower sometimes can count as one player. If they decide to fight under your tower, then it's 2v2 basically, the tower and you against those two. But the tower is so low, and they have a Tristana who can just take it. What you could do, if you had ulti right then and there, you don't. It's still a few seconds left. So what you could do is, first of all, you could walk up and auto the Tristana. Well, she needs to auto the tower. If she autos you, the tower attacks her. Same is true for the Lux. Only if you're confident in your ability to dodge the Lux Q. Just waiting here accomplishes nothing. Because, yeah, they just kill the tower and then they jump on you. And you should have at least dodged the Lux binding. Oh, that hurts. That's a wasted ulti. But yeah, especially against a champion like Lux, who can just bind you with a skill shot, you definitely need boots. In this game, I would probably go for Swifties. Boots of Swiftness. So you can run from the Mundo and from the Volibear. Also, you can run out of the Morgana ulti. And you need the mobility to dodge the Morgana and the Lux skill shots. Right. At least Mundo dies for that. So still disregarding boots. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this in this game, especially. Why is there still Fog of War? Okay. As a team, you are pretty far behind right now. Well, you're about to get your first tower for your team, but not the first tower, but your first tower. And that's good. It opens up top lane a little bit, but still, you lost this tower, you lost this tower. Mid is looking unhealthy. And they got 2 dragons, so you need to respect that they're ahead in gold and in stats, and that they can take towers rather quickly, so you need to rotate properly. Just wait until they make mistakes. And especially in low elo, people are greedy all the time. They try to dive you when they really can't or shouldn't. The mistakes will happen, even more than in Diamond, obviously. But yeah, Syndra should be fine. She has quite a lot of wave clear. At this stage in the game, taking Krugs is not really optimal because you don't have the resources, really. You don't have attack speed with this build, you don't have lifesteal, they just cost you too much HP. Now you can ulti the Tristana. This was your window of opportunity. Look at this. That's what I meant earlier. Okay, so she jumps in. You see her jump. You do have your E and your R. If you ER her right now, she's just dead. 100%. Right now, just ER and she dies. She cannot escape. You heal and run backwards. But yeah, these are the windows of opportunity that you need to see with the Emax Misfortune. It's the only chance you can do something if you abuse enemy overcommitments like that. Now you're just pretty much waiting for them to take the tower. Yeah. Ah, what a waste. This build is so heavily centered around your R cooldown that wasting it like that is pretty much as bad as dying, because you cannot really do anything after. Yes, you do have your laugh tap and your double up and whatnot, but it's really just short amounts of burst damage that cannot decide a team fight if they play this halfway decent. That was nice. But yeah, never waste your ult. It's just too important of a cooldown for this Misfortune build. Oof, that was a very premature flash. You probably could have just ran. Press W and run. On the other hand, you don't have boots. Debatable. Yeah, but you definitely should get boots against them. No doubt. As far as item build is concerned, yeah, Ghostblade into Dustblade, that's there's no doubt about that. But afterwards, against them, I saw you started building a Last Whisper item, which is fine. I mean, this dude is stacking armor, and well, not as much, but still. You definitely should get a Mortar Reminder. You do need the healing reduction against the Mundo and against the Volibear. You probably need it already, to be fair. So an early Mortar, an early Executioner's Calling would be very nice here. Just so you can deal with those two a little bit better. You cannot challenge the dragon, there's no point in trying to. Right, as long as nobody dies for that, it's fine. Or flashes. You don't want to waste big cooldowns. Now there's also a Baron on the map. Oh, that's so risky. Never do this. If you... Unless they're dead, you can never do this. They can just bind you over the wall and you die. It's never worth it. Even if you get away with it, it was not worth the risk. Nice, nice, alright. Yeah, that was very good. Saw the opportunity. Perfect. Now they're pretty much not all dead, but they don't have any damage left, so you can maybe try and start taking some towers. So you should take this mid tower, and probably recall and push out top lane. Take this top tower, so you release some pressure from Baron. Unlucky. Right. Yeah, but you didn't even take the tower. You probably never mind. What's the important part now is you cannot allow yourselves to waste too much time in the lane while they all respawned with full health, full mana, and just bought items. You need to try to get vision around the Baron area. That should be your #1 priority right now. But yeah, it's a tough game for sure. They are just so far ahead. Not even in kills, but in got something in my throat. I'm sorry. Not even in kills, but in general, just they have all their towers still intact. So they got a lot of gold from your towers. You didn't get any from theirs. And they got 3 dragons. That hurts. I don't think I need to talk about that one. Yeah, walking through that choke point, you could have retreated through this barrier here and walked back to your tower. Staying behind this wall is pretty much safe as long as you dodge the skill shots. But yeah, getting hit by Lux Binding is obviously a death sentence. But yeah, from here it just goes downhill. Yeah, they might feed occasionally, but that still doesn't get rid of the super minions that you now have to deal with. So the thing is, oh goodness, the super minions will now run down your base and they get Baron for free, pretty much, especially with Double Mountain. Nice. That was a good ulti. Yeah, so they overstayed, which you punished good enough. But generally speaking, your inhibitor is down for 5 minutes, and now it's pretty much, if they play this correctly, they just take Baron. On the other side, on the other hand, though, it's silver elo, low silver, so they probably won't. They probably will greed or will just ARAM at mid. They should take Baron now. So if you're in a situation like Red Team, all you need to do is abuse the fact that you have infinite map pressure. Just push out the side waves, which is easy to do because you still got those turrets, and wait for the supers to crash in mid lane. And once blue team responds to that, you just take Baron for free. Uncontestedly. What's red team doing though? Moving towards dragon. Okay, is it an important one? Another mountain. So yeah, that's definitely a mistake. Well, I don't want to call it a mistake necessarily though. It's yeah, it's not abusing the fact that you have that they have complete Baron control. So, well, it's free. Take the free stuff, win the game. So yeah, the dragon is probably fine. But now, latest, they should definitely start playing around Baron. So this is a mistake here. You see the Tristana already playing it incorrectly. She greets for farm in bot side when she's really needed to create pressure around the Baron area. Syndra gets caught out. Nothing you can do there. And now you got boots. Tabby is... I'm not a fan of Tabby this game. It's really only against Tristana, and if she jumps on you, you die anyway, because this build is very bad at dueling. So you should have bought Swifties, or maybe Merc-Trats, if you are afraid that you could not dodge enough skill shots in time. But yeah, Swifties would be optimal here, in my opinion. And still no Executioner's Calling, even though against Mundo and Volibear you definitely need it. So yeah, that's something you need to keep in mind. They just heal so much. If they don't answer this, this is perfect. So if you stop their backs, then maybe. So you see, this is what I mean. I just explained to you how Red Team wins. Red Team wins this for free, for absolutely free. They just need to create pressure in top lane. Instead, they allowed Fiora to take all their 3 towers and almost the inhibitor, and they're grouping bot side instead. So yeah, this is how you or how teams can still throw games even though they are so far ahead. Oh well. Now though, Fiora did not get top inhib and you lost bot inhib, so you're still in the same situation in which Red Team can easily take the Baron away from you. And as soon as Red Team gets Baron, the game's pretty much over. But yeah, Fiora abused that macro mistake from Red Team very well. Oh, finally the pings are coming. Are they listening? Yes, they are, alright. They did not put a control ward there, though. No control ward, that's extremely unsafe. You should definitely join them. Farming these minions at this point doesn't help you. You should be with your team right now. Oh yeah, that's what I mean. All these macro mistakes allow you to get back into the game. That's greedy. That's extremely greedy. You got Baron and have Baron minions, but Fiora is not using them. Well, if Red Team just takes too long to respond, then that's fine. Okay, they took too long. Fiora might still die though, so I'm not too sure if it's worth, because if you just abuse the power of Baron minions in every lane, you will get this inhib eventually anyway. But yeah, Fiora survives. So, play was okay in the end. And now what you should be doing is, if you just all group bot lane and push through bot lane with Baron minions, this would be the most optimal scenario. So you should be spam pinging bot lane, because you can still get 3 terrors here, which is free gold and free vision on the map. And they still need to respond to the top lane super minions. So if you just push bot lane with Baron minions and top lane with super minions, then you're pretty much good to go. And you can still have one split pusher mid lane to okay, to defend this inhibitor, yeah, at this point, it's probably too late. Very early ulti. So you're responding to that pressure on the mid inhibitor. Yeah, it's the ulti is fine, but without healing reduction, you don't do much against Mundo. This BF sword I don't really understand. Guardian Angel, yeah, that's... You're building as if the enemy were Kha'Zix jungle, Zed mid lane, Rengar top lane. Then you can... Well, it's obviously an over-exaggeration. If the enemy has 80 assassins, then this build would be nice, but... They have tanks you need to deal with, so Mortar Reminder would be worth so much more. Yeah, itemization. I think it's Tristana outscales you rather hard as well. All in all, though, late game you should probably still be favored. This is completely unnecessary, by the way. You should be grouped with your team right now, especially since you, even without ulti, your E is too much utility. You cannot allow your teammates to get caught. Always stick with them. This dragon is not really game deciding, so dying for it is definitely not worth it. And also, the fact that you do have Baron buff you as a team, and you waste it by just roaming the jungle, yeah, that really hurts your chances at winning. Because if you have Baron buff, the main thing about Baron buff is not that you can win fights with it. It's not Elder Drake, it's Baron. So it only provides you 40 AD and AP as combat stats. But the main selling point is the fact that it buffs up your lane minions. So if you just fight in the jungle, you're completely negating your own Baron buff in a sense. This might be good. Nice. Nice, that was very good. This though. This is exactly where you probably shouldn't go for Dragon. If you trade Dragon for a base tower, that's definitely in the enemy favor. Should be helping the brand though. Recalling when Fiora is already defending is not accomplishing much. Had you helped the brand, this Volibear would be dead. Always pay attention to what your teammates are doing as well. Seeing the Fiora defending the base should be your signal to stick with your team. Right, this longsword hopefully goes into a Last Whisper. As you see, 1, 2 and a half armor items. Volibear, however, is not buying any armor, so but still, Last Whisper is extremely efficient against those tanks. They have high base armor, and it also penetrates base armor. She also has a Zhonya, so yeah, Last Whisper item it is. Definitely. They all have a lot of armor. Zhonya's here, Zhonya's there. Tanks with high base armor. I'm not a fan of this Guardian Angel, really. It puts you so far behind as far as items are concerned. Because the armor, you pay money for armor and for the revive effect, and if they don't have assassins, you don't really need that. Grouping mid is fine, it's definitely in your favor, because you can still take turrets, and by just grouping mid, both teams wave clear, and you pretty much negate the fact that they have supers in the wave. Or in the lane. Yeah, good decision to just give them their space. And now... yeah, the Baron pings come out. Alright, you got the Last Whisper item last. They're probably just taking it. Yeah. Triple Mountain. That's gone. Obviously, it's not easy to respond to this because you get supers running down mid lane. And if mid lane is pushed, it's very hard to contest Baron or Dragon. So red team right now did what they should have done one Baron ago. if that's a way of measuring time, and just took it for free. You couldn't respond in time, especially with 3 mountains. So right now, you just turtle in your base, because there's no objective on the map that you need to fight over. So all you really can do is turtle in the base, and wait for them to come with their Baron minions. Try to defend as many buildings as possible. You're way overextended here. If your team gets caught out now, you can't do anything to help them. Yeah, so looking at the minimap, you see your team overextending. It's obviously a bad play from them, but you still need to react to your team's bad plays. And by grouping with them, you maybe could have prevented... Ooh, don't flank. Maybe could have prevented anyone from dying. So now you're again in numbers disadvantage, 4v5. You cannot hold this inhib, it's impossible now. You just need to try to hold your base towers. Or maybe this inhib, but it doesn't seem possible at all. So by not reacting to your team's bad play, I don't want to say you gave the game away, you lost the game, but that's the way you need to think. It's obviously not your fault that you lost this, at least not completely. You made some bad plays here and there, but it's obviously not completely your fault. But you are the only factor that you can influence in any of your games, so you need to be looking at where you could improve, where you could have played better. And had you reacted to your team's bad play, you might have been able to prevent all this. Even should you win the fight, they still got all the inhibs, and it's game over pretty much. But yeah, red team comes out ahead. Lux doesn't even need to do anything here, just stick to the minions with Baron buff. Oh well, so that's the game. I thought this was interesting because of the Baron throw that you could have capitalized off of. But the key takeaway from this game here, the mistakes that cost you the most are probably the fact that you picked fights when you were outnumbered or allowed them to outnumber you. So it was the same principle when your team was here a second ago and you were farming the Krags. Your team was outnumbered without you, and obviously they shouldn't have been here in the first place. But yeah, they get engaged, you are down here doing nothing, and they die before you can arrive. So yeah, never play a numbers disadvantage. That's all I got to say now. If you have one takeaway from this video, that should be it. And also, well, minor mistakes concerning itemization. And but yeah, it's overall solid. As I've said, tomorrow I will play a game myself with Emacs Arcane Comet Misfortune, so stay tuned for that. I hope this analysis helped you, and I also hope that tomorrow's game will help you. But if you want to be featured here, I said it in the beginning, yes, but I repeat myself right now. If you want to be featured in this series, all you need to do is you need to leave me a comment with your server and your summoner name. And also, if you are a channel member, you will have obviously increased priority. All right, so I hope you enjoyed, and I also hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.